This is a 1937-38 Arvin 818 Phantom Senior AM shortwave and police band radio. It has 8 tubes, including a magic eye, although the magic eye tube appears to be missing. The condition is probably fair to good. The case has some scratches, the dial lens is clouded, and it's pretty darn dusty and dirty inside. So we will repair this to working order. So if this interests you, stay tuned. Alright, let's get in this. So the first thing I have to note is this radio is freaking massive.
Oh my lord, look at that thing.
So big.
I've seen bigger.
I mean, wow. It is big, big, big. The inside is very dusty and dirty. So I'm going to take this outside. There's a chance of rain. I want to get it all this dust blown out of there before the rain comes. So I'll probably take it out of the chassis too. Do that off camera. That should be no big deal. Looks like, oddly enough, a couple nuts on there, and take it out. So let me get it cleaned up a bit and we'll be back. Alright, I got it cleaned up much better. I took the dial lens off because there was a grinding sound when you turn the adjustment there, and I didn't want it to scrape any more of the graphic off there than was already scraped off. So just looking around, I noticed the oscillator and the RF gang twisted together there. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. This must be a fairly rare radio. There aren't many pictures of it, and the couple pictures of different chassis I saw, it didn't have that. So, and I can't really see it in the schematic. So what else? Oh, on the back side we got this mess. I don't know what that's all about. We'll delete that. So this is a pretty, like I said, I think a pretty rare radio. And I believe it's been worked on quite a bit. Tubes are definitely all not originals, but if you look on the underside, it definitely been worked on. All these orange drop capacitors, and that's a newer electrolytic. That's probably not vintage. And then the that bad boy's puking its guts out. So yeah, interesting. Someone evidently went through a lot of trouble to get this thing fixed. It's got some notes on there. It's got the tubes marked, and couple other things. So let me look around a little bit, see what I find, and we'll be back. All right, I'm through looking through to see if looking through the radio to see if there's anything that looks like it should be replaced before we try to fire it up. I think we'll tack a capacitor in where that one's puking. I did clean the selector switch, and just for giggles, we'll check the ESR. So that one's not awful. That one, for as bad as it looks, isn't actually terrible. And this one, that one's not bad. That one's pretty tired. So, maybe I'll tack one into that one too. Maybe I'll tack in all four. I don't know. I got to make up my mind. But we'll get ready to fire it up. Be right back. All right, we're back. I decided to temporarily tack in the 4 electrolytics, and the reason just temporarily is because you never know when something is going to be severely wrong with the radio to where it's not worth fixing. So I didn't want to bend up those capacitors if this winds up being a junker for some reason. Hopefully not. But we got our variac here, and meter will monitor the B+. We have our dim bulb, and let's give it some voltage and see what happens. So most of the capacitors are relatively new. I'll probably help if I turned it on. I always forget to do that. All right, let's try that again. I didn't test the switch. Well, we got a glow coming on the first bulb, so we got a few electrons flowing. So it's not often I open up a radio and most of the paper caps are replaced, and I think these orange drop caps are relatively expensive, but I think this was probably done in the 1960s, judging by the vintage of the parts in there. So we're up to about 60 volts. Looks like our DC voltage is starting to be generated. The bulb is not stupid bright, so it should be no shorts. There's a few older capacitors in there, like that Cornell Double. I think there's another one. Oh, there's one back there too. So up to about 75 volts. I hope this radio is a winner because it's a pretty cool radio. The dial lens being all fogged up Since this is a relatively rare radio, I haven't been able to find any reproductions, so that's kind of a drag. Let's see, what should our B plus voltage be anyway? Around 252 volts. Oh, our dial lamps are not burned out. They're 2 on, I don't think. No, you can't see them in frame, so let's just keep cranking the voltage and 100 volts. Make sure I didn't forget anything. I got the speaker hooked up. With the bulb, we are only drawing about 50 volts and about 100 milliamps on our ammeter. So far, so good. Let's crank it up to 110. Nothing's smoking or on fire or anything. That's always a good thing. So we'll go the full voltage, 120 volts on our variac. And we'll give another bulb here in a minute. All right, let's give it another bulb. Ooh, there we go. That should be enough to make some sound. I do have our band selector switch in the right selection in theory anyway. Huh. Boy, no sound whatsoever. No hiss. I wonder if that goofy jumper wire on that tuning cap is affecting things. I don't know, maybe let's go another bulb to see what happens. So our B plus is really high. So maybe it's a dead tube. Let's see what our current draw is with that. Yeah. So I'm guessing there's a dead tube somewhere. I don't know if the oscillator's being killed by that that wrap on there. Huh. All right, I'm going to shut it down and do a little investigating. We'll be back. All right, in my haste to set the radio up, I forgot to hook antenna up, and I played with the tone switch, and it's working. Not so good. You can hear it's kind of garbled. I got a feeling that that twisted wire around there is what's causing the problem. So let me take that off and see if that fixes it. All right. So this knob has the on-off switch, and I thought it was a volume pot, but this is the tone control with the on-off switch. This one's the volume pot. So it's still very much distorted and garbled, but at least the radio's working somewhat. So maybe a bad output tube would seem the most likely. I'm still curious about that wrap around that oscillator wire, but we'll come back to that. That wasn't the problem for the distortion. The volume is really low, so I think it's 6v6. Yeah, 6v6. Let me see. I should have one of those. Let me swap it out and we'll be back. Alright, we got good news and bad news. Good news, swapped out all the tubes. It's not the tubes. So the bad news, it's something else.
You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard.
So I'm going to have to go through and test every component individually. Could maybe be that CAN-dome resistor. Could be some other resistor open. I don't know. I'm going to have to go through it. So sit tight. We'll be back. All right, good news. So I decided to look at the speaker first, thankfully. And I don't know if the camera's picking it up. There are a couple small holes in the speaker paper. And I was checking for speaker rub, and it like kind of did, but kind of didn't. It was kind of weird. I couldn't really figure it out. And then I noticed the glue is completely given away all the way around the speaker. So the paper cone's not glued to the frame. So luckily, the spider underneath is, instead of being glued on, it's one of those springy screwed on deals. So I think I can just unscrew that, lift the whole thing out, clean inside there, reshim it and glue it. And I just happened to be out of contact cement. I just ordered some that's supposed to come tomorrow. So should be able to fix the speaker, and yeah, good luck, I think. We'll see, as long as I can get it apart to glue it. I mean, even if I can't, I guess I could put some wood wedges underneath it and push it up to put the contact cement around and re-glue it. But that will fix the distortion and everything. So luckily I didn't check that last, which is what I usually would do. So the contact cement will be in tomorrow, and we'll mess with it tomorrow. So we'll be back. Alrighty. It's actually been 3 months since I worked on this. Weather's been really good outside. Been doing stuff out there, this and that, and I finally got around to working on this radio again. So we're ready to glue back the speaker. I was originally going to use contact cement, but that's not really going to work well with this because I need a little wiggle room, because I can't slide the paper cone down and pop it up very easy with that cardboard ring on there. So we're going to use this Simply Speaker. It's repair adhesive MI 3035, and we're going to give that a try. They sell a lot of good speaker parts, and this is specifically for attaching the surrounds to the frame. So I went ahead and I cleaned real good on the frame. I took some masking tape and cardboard, went around the inside there, make sure everything's nice and clean. And for another speaker project I got going, where I ordered a voice coil, they sent these various thickness shims to use to get the voice coil aligned in there. And I measured the thicknesses, and I think there's like a 3,000th, a 4,000, 5,000th, 7,000, like a 10,000. And this blue one is the 5,000th one. So, like I said, I tested different thicknesses to see, and I see which one would work best, and I just kept going up in size until I couldn't fit one anymore, and the blue one seemed to be the tightest fit that would get in there. So I'm going to do the actual gluing off camera, so because I really need to concentrate on what I'm doing, make sure everything gets lined up. So essentially there's the spider. I don't know if you can see under there's 2 bolts that go in there, one on each side to attach that in. So we'll run a bead of glue around there, and then we'll slowly bring it down. I'll put the screws and nuts in there, tighten it up, then press it down, and that should work. And we're doing this just to save money of, having to recone it and all that. All that really happened was the glue, for some reason, failed on the attachment to the speaker frame. So everything else seems to be intact and solid with it, so hopefully this will work. So I'll get that done and we'll be back. Okay, we got it glued down. It went really well. I was a little nervous, but it went good. So I just have a drill index and some solder on top for a little added extra weight. So we'll let that set up for 24 hours. We need to just resolder these connections on there, and we can get back to the radio. Alrighty, it's been a couple days since I glued this sucker, so it should be good and dry. Wait. So no speaker rub, so that's good. So we'll solder these connections back in, and we'll get back to the radio. Well, we got our speaker put back together, and it's all hooked up here. So I was looking through the documents on this radio, and the line voltage is actually rated 110 volts for the B plus readings and whatnot, and our B plus should be 252 volts. So we'll monitor that. I have a 200 watt bulb on. Variac set to 110. We might have to adjust that a little bit. We can see there's our line voltage. So let's turn it on. And we'll turn up our line voltage a bit. So the bulb is limiting us, so let's see, we got about 250 volts DC. Yeah, that's about right. All right, let's see which, oh, this one's the volume. So all right. Sounds a lot better. Pretty sensitive. I can't see the dial too good. There's our local station. So, yeah. That's seems to be working really good. A little bit of static. So we know the radio works, so we'll put these capacitors in a little more securely. And I was looking around, this is a line to ground cap, so we need to replace that one. And there's a old plastic cap there that we should redo. So let's do that, and we'll be back. Alrighty. I replaced the line cap and that tubular cap there that was old. I more rigidly mounted the electrolytics, and I put a new power cord in, and I added a fuse actually. For protection, I put a 1 amp fuse in. With the kilowatt meter, it was drawing about 600 milliamps, so 1 amp seems to be okay. And I went in, I started measuring some of the tube voltages, and the let's see, the 6F5 is here, and the plate voltage should be what was it? 135 volts, and it was 106. And this resistor feeds the plate voltage, and let me get the close-up camera. This thing is loose. And not only loose, it's in the wrong spot. It should be here. So the DC coming in, that's like I think approximately 1700 ohm resistor there, so it's getting resisted and resisted again. So we need to fix that, and I'll just show that on the schematic real quick. So let's see our resistor. Let me find it here. Right there. And that connects right there, and it's connected right. Let's see, right here. So need to fix that, recheck the voltages, and I'll be right back. We're back. Moving that resistor to the right place fixed our voltage issue. So I was warming the radio up to do an alignment, and let me put the, let me show you first. So these are the, let's see, here, here, here. And that's the same thing on these bottom ones. These slide. One slides, I guess, and one turns. Let me get the close-up camera. So, yeah, this slides, I guess, and that one just turns. And they're all, A, they're rusty, and B, they're all waxed up. So I'm not going to mess with the alignment because I don't want to break one of those screws off. And fortunately, the sensitivity seems real good. So that's kind of disappointing, but I'm not willing to dive into that and potentially foul something up. So yeah. Well, I guess that pretty much does it. I'll put it back together and we'll have some final thoughts. Okay, I didn't put it back in the case because I want to see if I can figure out how to get a new one of these made. It obscures the dial pretty good, and yeah, I already contacted one person and they said they could not, so I don't know. It's kind of a shame. I've never really seen a face cover like this before, but you can't read the dial scale, and let me turn the light off. You can. It's a real nice scale. So anyway, we didn't really have to do a whole lot to get this up and going. The speaker, we had to fix the glue on it, and because it was distorting really badly. That twisting of the oscillator and RF together, I took this wire off and I twisted it back together again just for giggles to see what it would do, and it was very distorted, so I don't know what was going on there. There's this extra wire that seemingly goes to nowhere, and it looks like it's original. I don't know what that's all about, to be honest. So we put new filter caps in and a couple tubular capacitors, and I think it could stand in alignment. I mean, it doesn't have a loop antenna. I have this wire going to it, and it gets the local station good. And let's see. So it gets AM 890 WLS, which is pretty good. I don't know what that is. WGN 670 the score. So the sensitivity is good. Like I said, I wish I could do an alignment on it, but I'm afraid of making it worse and possibly breaking something, so that's not good. So let's see. I think that's about all we did. Oh, that one resistor in the wrong place. So when you see one that, get a radio that's been worked on and look through, make sure everything's been put back right. This had all those orange drop capacitors put in there. But it's a nice radio. It's got a nice big speaker. The tuning eye is pretty much dead. That's pretty common. They just burn out and get dimmer and dimmer. But I did test the 6V6 on my tube tester, and it tested like brand new. So I'm sure other tubes are possibly weak. And like with all these old radios, if you put all new tubes in, it would greatly increase the performance. So, the one other thing, the B plus. So the B plus, according to the schematic, 252 volts, and with a modern digital meter, the voltages tend to run a little bit higher, anywhere around 5% all the way up to 10%. So I measured at 110 volts, it's about 282 volts, 30 over. So weak tubes can make the voltage higher on the B plus because it's not drawing current. And if you were going to run this, you'd want to run it with either a variac with lowered voltage or make a buck converter for it to run at 110 volts. So anyway, with as little as we did to this, I probably wouldn't even post this video, but since it's such a relatively rare radio, I decided to show it just for posterity, and maybe one day I'll get a nice tuning dial set up for it. So anyway, hope you found it interesting. Thanks for watching.